Hello everybody, welcome back to Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 172, Casual Conversations 89. Pleased to announce, we are now solidly in year 6 going on 7, have literally a math subject done on people's desks. But is there anybody that's competent enough to enforce the law, or anybody decent enough to do their job? Absolutely not. So as always, I'm your host, Bradley Bowes. I'm being profoundly and extensively tortured. There is nothing I can do, there is nowhere I can go, and there is no one I can call. I'm going to be tortured until the day that I die. And so the reality is again, everybody in the FBI, the CIA, Interpol, any major world government or organization that's doing these things, you guys are committing treason. And just because you guys don't think that's what you're doing, it doesn't fucking matter. You can murk my shit, I do not care at all. You guys will die in profound shame, as a statement of law enforcement, as a state of history. You've ruined my fucking life and you still mock me. So you know how we do it, we got current events and talking points, relevant and random stories, and try to ring up the FBI another 10, 15 times yesterday to call them. But again, they have some fat cunts that flick their dirty fucking pussies and their nasty fat pussy lips for $35,000 a year. You like literally to future generations, I am not allowed to report crime. I'm still not allowed to access any social structure. If I want to report crime, I can apply. You can literally apply to report crime, and we'll get to the story. But the law enforcement in this country is the biggest gang in the fucking world, along with every other law enforcement. I'm in America. And again, this place blows up its own buildings, murders its own citizens, lies about it, does it publicly, and then I saw all the signs and they're like, oh, well, fuck, so fuck them. As soon as we get the entire FBI, Cincinnati and Columbus will be subpoenaed, and you're going to face full punishment, absolutely no exceptions. I don't give a fuck if you're an operator. I don't care. If I call the FBI and you pick up and you don't give me my $12 million, you're committing treason, and your name's going to be plastered fucking everywhere for being such a lazy, entitled, worthless fuck. So if everyone enjoyed Christmas, in celebrating an ancient linguist that was born into a culture without much guidance, and that's why we have joy and celebration, and today we just continue to murder children because we won't prescribe cannabis. So that's all good stuff. There's not a single competent working scientist on this planet besides me, and everyone else is just fucking whores running around coming and trying to play games. So again, I love when all those people that literally come, all they do is play games and come their whole life, and now they have kids and trying to teach their kids values. They get mad at me, I'm the only one teaching anybody how to behave at all. This species or the next. So, fuck every individual of any organism that is aware of my voice. Fuck you and fuck your life. So getting into it. Couple economics points. So we had Sam Bankman-Fried released on $250 million of bail with his parents' estate as collateral and a co-signer with significant assets. The next hearing is on January 3rd. SEC Chair Gensler comes out and says there's still no new regulation needed for crypto. So again, crypto is regulated currently, I believe, as a commodity, with its currency, which again, we already live in digital currency, but again, I don't see FTX one thing falling. Again, still extremely bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Buy. It's correlated to the market. I have no time frames on the appreciation. I do not see them being able to, again, a central bank currency or anything associated with a central bank is not going to be able to be stabilizing the economy because it comes from a central bank. And so, when does that appreciate? I don't see a price increase on Bitcoin or Ethereum not happening with the adoption, and I see the adoption as inevitable because you can't have stabilized economy from a central bank because you can't, because there's a lot of countries. So not much on the SBF stuff, obviously goofy fuck committing fraud. Scott Minerd of Guggenheim Partners dies at 63 from a heart attack. I saw that dude regularly on CNBC. It's like he keeled over from a heart attack. Again, 63. I believe my dad is 63. Yeah. Parents are now 62 and 63, going on 63 and 64. They've never seen one output of all of this work I've done. Not one. So again, thank you for ruining my family. To all those treasonous criminals hiding behind a fucking badge, you guys are gang members. I'm completely capable of doing what I need to do to defend myself and my property, and you guys just hide behind a fucking badge and then destroy my family. So, sorry for Scott Minerd, but again, I just see that and think of my parents, and I'm just like, oh well, probably never gonna see my work manifest into anything. They'll never see me be happy. Like their kid be happy. I can't feel happiness when I don't have constitutional rights. When your rights are violated, you never feel safe. And it's the world governments who, again, commit treason and murder their own citizens. And so I just like, fuck it, just make fun of these fucking people. We are living the most disgusting life ever. If you lie about history to any capacity at all, and you are over the age of 12, you are being criminally prosecuted. When we cover the 10-year-old that shoots his mom, and then it's tried as an adult. If you're older than 12 and you're not capable of clicking on a video, you should be tried as an adult for racketeering and conspiracy. And you're aware of my work. Because you're all stealing from me. Every kid at school is stealing from me. People just don't give a fuck because they don't feel responsibility. But I watched Ben Shapiro on Full Send podcast. Obviously, I've railed against Ben Shapiro. He'll be criminally prosecuted and financially sued the instant I have access to court. He claims to be traditional Orthodox Jew who's never read the Torah to any meaningful historical understanding and just blurts out bullshit. So I got a little more background. Again, obviously, I've watched a lot of Ben Shapiro, but I got some more background on the Full Send podcast with Ben Shapiro. It's more about the actual background of the business of the Daily Wire. But Ben Shapiro didn't become an Orthodox Jew until 9 years old. So again, his family had no values, and they want to have values, and now they just look into the society and see what says values, and then they just pick some random bullshit, and now they go gung-ho, they're all in, and Ben's wearing his yarmulke. As an Orthodox Jew that has, again, never read the Torah to any meaningful understanding, he's just hypocritical to every extent whatsoever. But again, because we're anti-quarantine, we're anti-health measures, and then right in the Torah, it's like, yep, we're going to stay away for 7 days and do that. Then we're anti-abortion, and then the Torah Jewish tradition is clearly like, that guy's surely going to die. I'm going to wax my revenge or wax my anger hot on that guy. That whole people's going to go away. So again, you can't be Jewish to any extent and be anti-abortion or anti-death penalty to any extent at all. But Ben went to UCLA at 16 years old and was attempting to be a concert-level violinist. He claimed he was, but I said he's attempting to be. So I watched Two Set react to Ben Shapiro years ago. Dad was a composer, Mom was a reality TV producer executive. Sure, his dad was a shitty fucking composer. His mom's probably even spank bang TVs. So, little privileged fuck. Yeah, got to go to UCLA at 16 years old. I was doing research species achievement level research grade methodological derivation when I was 7. Now I'm 29, and I'm not allowed to go to school. Like, I'm literally not, to people in the future, I'm not allowed to walk into a university and publish a paper. And everyone knows it's right, they just steal it, and they walk into a university and publish shitty papers, but there's mountains of word salad. And so, it's just absolutely disgusting. So again, you see beta society where it's like, oh, this guy worked hard, now he can go to school at 16, but you can't do research level math at 7, because that's too much. That's too much better than the next guy. And again, we're all beating our dicks from the 80s to the early 2000s. We have to compete. And then we teach our kids to play games and come, and now once they see someone of real intelligence, and now it's like, wow, David Eisenbud, it's mind-boggling. Sean Carroll, we can't keep up. I can't eat my dinner properly because you guys won't pay me a livable wage. But Ben Shapiro can go to UCLA at 16. And again, being a part of a group of people. Hey, Brad, you can attend this. You can be a lecturer at this university on this date. Then I would be able to eat food today, literally. But I'm socially isolated. I'm under, again, whatever the world governments, when they say we can do basically whatever we want, you are state-sponsoring torture of another human being, and I treat people with equality. Not a threat to anybody, but I'm a man of equality, and that will not go away in 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 years, or 50 years. So, keep committing treason, blowing up your own buildings, lying about murdering your own citizens, snuffing out science and the UFOs and the aliens that you know are everywhere. And again, the most basic thing ever is just legalize and prescribe cannabis, which murders about 2 million Americans a year. Again, I don't give a fuck about the Americans or the death, but it's just, again, if we want to stop shitting in our hands and wiping it all over our face, that's what we have to do first. And again, all you people have done is played games and come. And so you're not competent at making decisions. You are not adults. I am. Ben wrote his first book at 20 years after writing a syndicated column since 17. Again, he put out some writing columns, some people watched it, and they gave him a job. People steal off my property, watch it, learn from it, go make money, and say, well, not my responsibility. Brad's been tortured for 6 going on 7 years, profoundly and extensively. It's not like my life was good before this. But again, all of my life's work stolen from me with a definitive violent response from police officers stealing from me with a sworn oath to uphold the Constitution. If you say there are laws in this country, you are being sued in any public professional capacity. You are allowed to play games and come and say the fuck away from me. He graduated from Harvard Law at 23. He quit as an associate. So he made some good money at 23, sucked the right dicks to get into Harvard Law, played the game of, again, the beta males. If you're the absolute top, then they'll just steal the Riemann hypothesis and go back to their nice, lavish buildings and their big endowments and say they're a premier school. And I'm going to put every university in the fucking ground. You are financially going to be owned by me. But he quit as an associate, and so he got married after 3.5 months of dating. Got a thank you after saying I love you for a month. LOL to the 69th power. And watching some old Ben Shapiro shit is just a beta male fuck that started to get some attention. Attention feels good, right? When you put out a video and get clicks, it feels good, right? If you've never been through real decision making, there's gonna be little children that still like attention. Eternally 14, right? Jordan Peterson stealing my analogy. Saw you tweeted someone today saying it's eternally 14. Stop stealing my logical proofs. Stop it. Fucking pay me, you fucking thieves. Jordan Peterson, you have lived your life. Go get addicted to benzos again and die the fuck off. You're a thief. And you're one of 10 people that I see on YouTube claiming to be an intellectual. Your career goes to zero the instant you say my name once. Fuck your whore daughter. Fucking Caleb Peterson. That's kind of attractive, but it's certainly a fucking whore. Certainly a lazy fucking whore like your father. Ben Shapiro getting thank yous for I love yous. Yeah, fuck Ben. Stupid fucking kike. But he secured $4.7 million to start the Daily Wire. It was cash flow positive in 18 months, and will do $200 million this year in revenue. How? How the fuck do you do anything? Start a business, I don't need any money. I just need distribution for product. How the fuck do I do anything? $10 million for one fucking person to give me a time frame or musical performance of any meaningful stature. $50,000 to $200,000 to distribute my property. One of 11 lecture series. Jordan Peterson says he's got about 100 hours of lecturing on the internet. Patch the motherfucker. Do this shit all day. You guys just steal my property and your families are fucking fed on stolen property. To the futures. These are your ancestors. They are literally just whores. And they're so privileged and entitled, they will never take responsibility for their actions. And if you insult a pathetic person, they just sulk. They just shut down like the little bitch they are. Oh, you can't insult me. Don't be mean. Don't be mean. Oh, we're not going to enforce the law. Our governments are built on one person's intuition and proofs. But we're just going to keep slaughtering kids because we won't prescribe cannabis. So that's good. But just saying, raise $4.7 million, and more importantly, cash flow positive in 18 months. It's a media company. What the fuck do you need $4.7 million to do for a media company? You need a couple cameras and content. But again, go to the right schools, suck the right dicks, and then people say, oh, there's our shared insecurity. Stupid people go to Columbus State and smart people go to Harvard. And every single curriculum or syllabus on this planet is written in direct violation of the Constitution, stealing from me. But yeah, we're still holding on to the Harvard's good stuff. Ben says there's a strong case to delete the internet, LOL. This is what happens when you have illiterate people, the full send team, Kyle Stogarts or something, and Steiny, and Bradley Martin sometimes. You have illiterate interviewers asking someone who thinks they're intelligent, knows more than the interviewers, but is absolutely fucking stupid. Ben Shapiro says, the good doesn't, and I quote, the good does not say clearly, maybe paraphrase, but I think this is word for word, but certainly very close to the actual statement, if not verbatim. The good does not outweigh the bad, meaning the negatives of social media. I said the fucking hilarious. How many cell phone calls to 911 has saved a life? How many posts on the internet has spread some information? How much any emergency situation or just the cell phone alone, ability to communicate, which is, again, this is a computer. Again, what's the internet really? Is it the servers? Is it the transmission? What exactly qualifies the internet? So just communication in general absolutely slows down. The positives profoundly outweigh the bads. Talking about, again, the one-off dude who again, I would absolutely censor a post that would, again, save one life if I gave a fuck about any life. Again, it's like using Kanye West, someone of big stature saying reckless things. Don't give a fuck about the term free speech. He's not directly inciting violence. I don't really care. Just if I was a moderator or a business owner, like own Twitter or something, I'd err in the caution of avoiding that one group of black people in New York saying you were definitely anti-Jews in the streets. But the amount of net good as opposed to those one-off shoots of bad things that inspires a school shooter is infinitely different, profound. It's not calculable. That's how much more benefit being able to communicate each other quickly is. If someone falls down and needs help, and they call 911, or they can, how about the medical system, where they have your records, your surgeries, your dates, and they fuck up a lot too, but in general, right? So, no. Data communication, the efficiency of communication is so much more beneficial than any bad it does cause. And I'm against the bad stuff too, but that's what happens when you have an illiterate person, Steiny and Kyle, interviewing somebody who's supposed to be the intellectual of the group, and then it just goes right back. Ben Shapiro's still 38, so doesn't know how to fucking behave. And so, yeah, that was the stupidest shit I ever heard. But then he says, I do care about my family more than anyone else, and anyone who says otherwise is a liar. Correct, Ben, but you're a liar, and you're stealing from me, and you've ruined my ability to have a good relationship with my parents' family, and any ability to have a family of my own. So correct, I do care about the family I don't have more than your stupid fucking kids, and you're a liar and a thief, and your company is built on stolen fucking property. So Daily Wire is going to go straight to zero as soon as I have access to court. Straight to fucking zero. Sean Carroll, Eric Weinstein, Brett Weinstein, all of these people stealing from me, especially if you're spreading COVID misinformation. You just don't like to be told what to do, and you don't have any real decision-making skills, and you form groups, and you're fucking losers, and you want to be intellectuals. So make decisions. Proof laws. That's what I'm doing. You can jump into this proof anytime you want. I don't own logic. You're welcome. But don't think you can because you're too fucking stupid. So, that's what I learned from Ben Shapiro on the Full Send podcast. We had a big scare at Mall of America with another mass shooting. Phew, it was only just a murder. Whew. So in Bloomington, Minnesota, we caused a lockdown after 2 were shot and 1 died. A 19 male at Nordstrom. Oh man, must have been the new Nike drop at Nordstrom. Had to really get the first drop on that. The off slid in, picked up the Gucci belt that I wanted, so pop that shit off. So again, if that was another mass shooting, which again, I haven't seen one of those in about 5 minutes, and typically it's about 2 minutes, or 2 seconds, so I don't want to jinx it. It's probably be another mass shooting by the time I'm done recording this video. But phew, so it was just a murder over a Gucci belt at Nordstrom. So we locked down, it turns out just some 19-year-olds popping off over some clothes, or some disagreements over a girl, or a guy, or something. So, that's good stuff. China estimates COVID surge is infecting 37 million people per day. It's approximately 2.6% of the population. With the Omicron variants, transmission was peak about 1%. Now we are lowering more COVID restrictions in China. Again, the lockdowns at the beginning absolutely made sense to prep the health system, to try to delay or get the vaccines going. Locking down now, again, the lockdown was to slow down transmission, not to stop it. Vaccines are safe and effective. I got the Omicron booster thing. Again, I had slight body aches for about 12 hours, maybe 12 hours. And again, from after getting the second dose, the body aches were probably 3 or 4 for about 12 hours. Then after the first booster, I didn't have any side effects whatsoever besides needle site injection, minor soreness. And then the second booster, I had about 12 hours, about a 1 out of 10 of body aches for about 12 hours. So again, I'm done trying to talk reasonable science to people like Robert Malone and Brett Weinstein and Eric Weinstein and their stupid fucking kids. If you lie about COVID in any capacity, and again, if I can't prove the COVID stuff, which again, we've covered the masks, we've covered the vaccines, again, we've covered the basis of biology. Right, Eric Weinstein, all these people, they were the ones who denied aliens existed. And if you have there's rocks, there's bugs in the woods, there's aliens in the fucking space. And so it's just like, I've never been in a profound state of scientific denial at any point. And Eric Weinstein was in profound state of scientific denial until he was like 50, 45. And so again, I have no respect for them as scientists. I have no respect for them as people, but it's certainly not as scientists. Again, I've watched Robert Malone speak, or attempt to speak. It takes forever. He was the dude with really bad COVID, but now he's over there like ivermectin works. He almost died from COVID, and he's over there like, gets a little attention. Beta fucks get some attention, and they want to spread their values, and they don't have any. It is the same story every single time. And so I watched, it's just some clip, I don't know from what time frame it was, of Bill Gates, airing back to the FDA. If you cannot confidently understand what biology is, again, there's nothing that's staying in your body. Myocarditis and pericarditis are way more prevalent by about, I think, a factor of 125 off the top of my head, as opposed from getting the disease as opposed from being exposed to from getting the disease as opposed from being exposed to the vaccine. Now, LSD isn't being stored in your bloodstream. No nutrient from 3 years ago is still in your bloodstream. No cell in your body is the same from 7 years ago. And so it's just, again, if they don't let me integrate into an intelligent conversation, there's no way for me to pick apart insecurity because it's infinite. They can always just put on another narrative or always deny it. The insecurity of the species, the maturity of the species is about 7%. People don't know how to wipe their ass and not wipe it on their fucking face, let alone have kids, let alone raise a family, let alone make decisions for policy at the government level. They're just incompetent people that chase careers, play games, and come. And so, I think China's making more sense again. Once everyone's getting affected, there's no chance of stopping it. As like when they're like welding people into buildings and shit like that. And so again, as someone who's literally the most canceled person in possible. The person that's doing all of the science for an entire fucking species. And so when I don't give a fuck what the FDA says, I don't give a fuck what Bill Gates says, they're all incompetent. Vaccines work, they're safe and effective. One-off chance by, again, putting anything into your body. And random heart attacks come from exercise more so than any one one exposure to a substance. And so it's just people are illiterate. They take false association and then they spew narrative on it and then pretty much call it politics. And then Tommy Lorraine's out there liking it, like she's a bad bitch. Now we all have our podcasts and our shows and our little sets and a million subscribers, so we can all go talk and feel like we're doing stuff. And you're literally just slowing down and hurting people. So great legacy, I guess. Good one. Again, $10 million for a public lecture or musical performance of any capacity. Let's put all of my research into society, and then again, instead of me deriving word for word random social conversations on YouTube, I'll do it in person at a lecture series. Anybody, any thought in the room, I'll prove to you where your thought came from faster than you can think it. So if you want to go against that in science, bring it. All right, Eric Weinstein, you know when you're dealing with something different. You just don't know how big the gap of intelligence is. And you just denied science through like 40, so shut the fuck up, you pimpled-faced kike. Tory Lanez found guilty in the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. Shot her in both feet in 2020. Faces assault with a handgun, carrying a loaded, unregistered gun, and gross negligence discharge. The actual statutes are abridged, because they might be a little longer, trying to fit into the charges. It's just interesting to me seeing like the actual, I don't know, every single statute, every single little thing, the exact, where we say this is illegal, or this is punishable. He's facing up to 20 years in prison and might be deported. He's originally from Canada, and I don't have his birth date written down. But Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez was Megan Thee Stallion, I think, has bigger names than Tory Lanez, at least today. But typically, the rapping shootings, they hit my headlines pretty heavy. But again, this was 2020, and the feet. So I don't know. I just hadn't heard much of the story, so I don't know much about it. But if you don't really know, heard some of the major pop songs from Megan Thee Stallion. Haven't heard from Tory Lanez in some years. So that's what they're gonna shoot each other over some relationship stuff. Dumb bitch alert! Dumb bitch alert! Dumb bitch alert! Carrie Lake loses her lawsuit in her defeat in Arizona, in the Arizona governor's race. Quote, "The court cannot accept speculation or conjecture in place of clear and convincing evidence." Justice Peter Thompson of Maricopa County. Again, I don't follow Arizona politics at all. I just catch the headlines, the national shit. And I live in Ohio, so I know about our good old Governor DeWine over here committing treason. Again, I can't carry a legal handgun because I have a cannabis card, but he just sued the city of Columbus for having decent magazine restrictions. So again, just carnival shit, just throw your shit in the air. Mike DeWine, thank you for your service. You're a fucking stupid bitch. Your daughter Becky's waiting for you. Again, as a statement of biology and as a statement of die the fuck off, you old man. But again, if you ever say there's constitutional rights, your legacy will be absolutely run through the mud, along with John Kasich as well. But again, Carrie Lake getting on the TV on the morning press or whatever the CBS show is, and it's like, if you lose the election, will you accept the results? Well, I'm not gonna lose. And she's just a dumb fucking whore. She has never done anything in her life besides play games and come. And you're a dumb dyke bitch. Cool haircut, you stupid butch bitch. She called Cassandra Schaefer from the PD department here in Columbus. Bet she'll lick your pussy nice and good. But again, any person getting into politics saying, again, not directly saying, yes, I will accept legitimate results of elections, and then saying we have democracy, and saying we have values or decency, which we don't. It's just a bunch of pathetic gang members. Liars, thieves, and criminals. Fucking disgusting. So another lovely Christmas dinner as expected. Again, being around my parents' family, it's just eternal 14-year-olds that don't treat them with much respect. Nothing's not nearly as bad as last Christmas. But again, same uncle, different aunt, sitting at the table. I go to get something. Again, I don't really eat. They had dinner at 2. Again, when I don't feel comfortable at all, I can't eat at all. I don't really eat till later. So I was just had like a half, maybe a glass of wine and a couple pieces of beef. But literally, my aunt and uncle again who are not educated. They do not take time to learn anything. And then it's their right as a 14-year-old to blurt out their insecurities and see how the group reacts. And that's how they're going to form their personality. And so my uncle clearly an audible level, like, we're not supposed to talk about religion because you guys are illiterate. Because you guys are fucking stupid. I'm literally reading the Bible out loud and you guys are so fucking dumb. You don't know what the fuck you're reading. You disrespect my life's research. The only reason I go to my parents' house is to sit around my parents, make my mom happy for a couple hours. I have my own house now, so I don't give a fuck. But again, to my aunt and uncle, again, we can talk about religion, it's just a word. But I talk about history because I'm educated. I've actually read books and learned things and proven things. I'm tired around my illiterate family disrespecting my life's research. So I don't say anything. I just sit there and again, it's not like we talk about anything. Again, the conversation goes something like this. Again, just blurting out random talking points. Again, my aunt thinks again, I would be someone who'd be hard on the border. It's like, the Democrats are sending over the migrants to destabilize to make the Texas a blue state after a red state. It's just like, my God. It's like literally watching a 14-year-old talking about their favorite sports team. It's just like, and my aunt was like, as I'm like in the kitchen, like getting some food or getting a water or something, and my aunt was like, well, I don't know how to not talk about religion. Again, what is religion? Again, we have clearly two different people as differentiated by the Jewish tradition and the Christian tradition, and all the denominations of Christianity saying, here's different translators after 60 years of oral tradition, and the most learned historian ever. But then I have 14-year-old, 65-year-old aunts and uncles who they're children, and they never grew up, and it's disgusting. So that was fun. Again, nothing super severe, but it's just, again, they have to blurt out their insecurities and see how I react. And at the same time, they don't respect me. If I was a famous intellectual, they'd be a little more respectful of me. Because again, the only thing that matters when you're in a group of people that play games in common is to win, to get popular, to be the top G like Andrew Tate. I just want to be at a good dinner and be left the fuck alone by fucking criminals like Deputy Robbins, like Andrew Ginther, like Michael DeWine, like Cassandra Schaefer, like Bill Kosiski. So that was fun. 10 people missing in Austrian avalanche, found alive, near Lech Lake and Zers. 4 injured, 1 seriously. There's a video of it, again, as a skier. Avalanche is never looking fun. And again, as someone literally I'll ski anything that isn't avalanche prone. So I mean, there's no difficulty level. I might not do if you have to do 10-foot drops over rocks and shit, I might not do that trail. But any steepness of skiing slopes, I would definitely do. So that's good that they didn't die in the avalanche. Obviously, a serious thing. But yeah, I attempted to report crime probably another 10 times to the FBI. Again, called them. I clicked the operator number so I can talk to a real person. There's not a single person in law enforcement of any staff that doesn't know who the fuck I am. They get an attitude with me. I tell them I'm a federal judge. I am. The reason I am not on and Brad we trust on your courtrooms is because I'm literally teaching every judge. Every lawyer and every judge that learns law, it is what it is learning from me. It's because there's so much fraud and racketeering going on, and I can't actually get my credentials. Then there's some bitch that flicks her pussy for $35,000 a year, who's fat as fuck, can just hang up the phone when they get offended. I just say, if I say I try to report crime, then they're clearly coaches like, well, okay, we can go to our intake center. And I literally said it's posted publicly online, to which this bitch lies to me. Again, I haven't been elected and approved by Joe Biden, which again has no merit. And it's just a group of people playing games. Go get the federal judgeship. And again, there's not a judge. I teach all the judges, so I'm pretty sure I'm a judge. I'm pretty sure I qualify. But she first says, in kind of like a laughing, skittish tone, again, reacting to the resonance of my voice always. If you were a federal judge, you'd always know how to contact us. It's like, again, there's so much fraud going on. I've written to judges personally, they write back saying, we can't help you with direct law citations and proof on the internet. All you have to do is shut the fuck up and listen. But you can't, because you're 65-year-old whores. It's disgusting. And it's fucking hilarious. When I was in my young 20s, again, my maturity level hasn't changed in 20 fucking years. Because I grew up when I was a kid. Had to. But, good God, man. And so there was she was like, you would already, if you were a federal judge, you would already know. It's like, again, there was so much crime, I don't have access to any social structure at all. And anybody on an individual level that would help me has been blacklisted and told me they'll go to jail if they don't stop committing crimes. And one day, those old people telling those people to commit crimes are going to die the fuck off, and their kids are still going to be guilty of treason, and of racketeering, and of conspiracy. I'm going to throw them in jail until they're dead. And take every penny they have ever fucking earned. If they threaten me, I'll defend myself with lethal force. But then she says to me, again, I can get these people on the phone, and if I go through the application method, which takes about 3 minutes, so I don't want to do that. Then they do the same thing, just some worthless agent that shouldn't be allowed to have a gun or a badge, worthless fuck, failed at their jobs, and can just click, hang up. But I'm like, it's posted on the internet, and they're like, she says to me, she has the audacity, we don't look at internet posts. Law enforcement, you guys don't have departments looking at internet posts. Isn't that how you do most of your investigations these days? Lying to me is not a good idea, bitch. So yeah, the FBI does not look at the internet posts. There's nobody from the FBI watching this video as I'm recording it right there on my cell phone with the audio right here. No. Okay, you told me you did, so. And again, it's publicly obvious you guys fucking, they have departments to look at social media. So again, she gets offended, she gets scared, and she didn't do anything to say me to go, fuck off, and then torture me. But Article 1, Section 8, Subsection 7 of the United States Constitution, I have a right to my writings and discoveries. Just kidding, we blew up our own building, so we can't do that. Fifth Amendment, you can't take private property for public distribution without just compensation. Just kidding, we can do whatever we want. I remember the guy's name, face, license plate, and his fat fucking wife, too. So. Again, I'm just writing down evidence. I'm just trying to report crimes, because I literally asked, you guys don't investigate? You guys don't do your federal bureau, which you guys, bureau, can't even pronounce that right, but you don't do investigations? We have the bureaus, we have the dossiers in the bureau. Hola, les bleus. I guess, hola. Ça va? Ça va, les bleus? Well, that's cool. Yeah, sweet. But yeah, and then those were the two big ones. It was hilarious saying, we don't look at social media posts. Okay, yeah, okay, that was a good one. And if you were already a federal judge, I am the judge. And you guys just commit so much global crime because you can't grow up. You continue to slaughter children. That is your legacy. Every local reporter, every person on CNBC, potential spam phone call getting harassed right now. Trying to get health care, can't get that. Nobody gives a fuck. So that's all fun stuff. Last couple points. What's in my headphones? Loveless, End of an Era. That's an album that released, I think, in September 2022. And Loveless 1, an album from 2021. The band is literally called Loveless, and those are the two albums I really like. Thought they were both playthroughs. And it's kind of like a rock, metalcore type of genre. Then we have a kind of a shitty music name for marketing. The Micah Relocate, M-Y-K-A, Relocate. They have their old albums, but an album from 2015 called The Young Souls I really liked, and an album from 2013 called Lies to Light the Way I really liked. So those are kind of the new stuff in my headphones. The Loveless End of an Era album is the new one. The other Loveless 1 and the Micah Relocate albums were older ones that I listened to, but I wanted to give them a shout out as well. So a storm dumps 49 inches of snow on Buffalo, New York, with more to come. So 4 inches, or 4 foot 1 inch. It's a lot of snow. So we're trying to get to the warm-ups now. The Arctic blast went over the continental United States. Now we're getting a little warm-up. Hopefully the snow and ice goes away. With the 50s on the way. 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, that's cool. And the last thing is I watched a throwback, because I like the Impulsive podcast. I didn't watch a lot of probably only been subscribed for, I don't know, about a year, maybe a year and a half. But I watched number 107 with David Dr. Greer. Again, I've maxed out all of the alien stuff I can do for you. Again, aliens and extraterrestrials are distinctly two different groups of things to me. Again, sentimentally, how many species are here? How many species exist? Infinite, again, or at least uncountable. Here, again, I don't know. I just need whatever data they actually fucking have. As the most prolific scientist ever. Again, the government data is not going to do a lot different for me, but again, I made the discovery. You guys stole the property and lied about it. So it'd be cool to just know exactly what you guys know. But everything he said there seemed accurate. The picture he showed seemed like a thing to me. Again, 5 foot with a kind of a triangle-y type head. I don't know, probably gray. Again, I showed you the languages that I'm intuitively aware of existed. And so there was at least 2. And again, you don't know what truce you just negotiated. And I said, are we like Sweden, meaning is this just like a neutral ground where 2 groups of aliens might come to Earth and just be talk shit out? And I don't see large scale beefing. I don't see wars amongst aliens, again, amongst the same species. And I estimate maturity level of an entire technologically developed species over 1 million years, maybe 80 to 85%. And so, again, that could be right or wrong, just meaning about how many of their own species commit crimes, rob shit, kill other people's individuals of their species, stuff like that. And so obviously we are really novel, but it wouldn't go to 0 in terms of everyone be completely consistent with their behavior, stuff to grow up, so go through puberty. But once you change the sentiment of the species, the behavior is regulated by the sentiment, right? I'm really sad today. I'm gonna go shoot the school because I'm really sad today. I'm gonna go outside and walk and just get to tomorrow, or just not be sad at all because who gives a fuck? And so nothing really struck me about this. I mean, this was from August 2nd, 2019, so this is years and years and years ago. But the only thing that struck me as odd or just wrong was meditation to initiate contact. Can you hear me? Yes. On record. But meditation to initiate contact just sounds odd to me. And that sounds too much like a main character syndrome. Like I'm going to summon an alien. If there's organisms, if there's a deer running in the woods and you see it, it's not like you summon the fucking deer. They can certainly hear you if you have something interesting to say, but they need to be proximal. Well, vibration's universal, so latency really goes to zero in terms of information transfer. Again, of just light going out into space, the speed of light, there's no latency, it doesn't degrade. And so when you vibrate, when you take a bottle of water and vibrate and look at the things, you can resolve aliens. Again, it's not like they're right here, just the light has not degraded at all, so it opens up a communication channel. And so anytime when I listen to these people that are in the know try to talk about the physics, their physics are, the only one that can speak about physical ontology is me. Right? When Seema throws a snowball at my back and says the vibration and noise, after two nouns and a conjunction, you guys are basically out of logic. So it's fucking hilarious. People see that have seen or are aware of the technology, still try to explain the physics like Bob Lazar and just be like, the time warp space, they open up from another dimension. No. And Greer goes on about like, they'll show up in full 3D. It's like there was only 3 dimensions. The minimum prime number is 3, 5, and 7. There's only 3 prime numbers, the Trinity. And so their math and science is way off. The picture of the alien looked fine. Again, there's so many fucking aliens, it's not like that's surprising. But meditating to initiate contact, I think, is too much of a kumbaya main character syndrome from human beings. The aliens are everywhere, and once human beings get over themselves, it's not like, again, it's like how many species of birds and bees and grass are there. So, specifically, why are they here? Again, 2 were here. There was 2 civilizations before here. And at some point in time, maybe they have where all the bodies, where's all the technology. If they're an advanced civilization, maybe they're like Japan at the World Cup, but they leave no trace. And so then how do we get the crafts? We do some reverse engineering, we interact with some, we down some, or they crash somehow, or interactions after reverse engineering some, and then all the shit's stored either in orbit or in these really, really secure facilities. And so, yeah, that seems completely consistent, but the meditation to initiate contact just seems strange. In terms of like summoning an alien, they can certainly have the technology that they can perceive what you're communicating. That's for certain. But again, you have to have something interesting to say. And talking about, Bill's got to go pick up the kids probably not too much of an interesting thing to an advanced civilization. And it's not like they're doing much thing different either. It's not like, technology keeps advancing. Life just exists. People are just living. And so, how many are close enough? Like, why are they in 2 from here? But I don't see like they wouldn't like care. Like they would care about the Earth, like the ecosystem in general. But again, maybe a gas station in Sweden. Again, just some sort of natural resources that we don't use, and maybe if they fly by here, we have a lot of water, right? So maybe water, I think salt water, low. And yeah, again, I can't conjecture past things that are facts that I just don't know. So, but nothing new from anything, and I don't have anything new. And I've said everything I could possibly say on that stuff. I mean, I could go demonstrate the methodology, but it's cold outside. So, and again, it's just so disrespectful. But again, threatening nobody, that's the part I hate, is I hate being called a fucking threat for getting mad that I'm getting tortured by people that are being insubordinate. So the FBI, CIA, again, you're going to get subpoenaed. Everybody in the Cincinnati and Columbus offices, it doesn't matter who picks up the phone, you guys are all fucked. All of your kids are going to school stealing from me. And I reached out to Gary Lewis Jr. directly, and this kid directly, and they have no idea what I'm talking about clearly. So again, that's, if they do, which they do, then that's racketeering, that's conspiracy, such of intellectual property and distribution of it. Reached out to Peter Pat and myself. I said, fuck your family, pay me on LinkedIn. He didn't respond. But again, Peter, remember you kicked me out of a basketball practice when I was 14 because you were mad that I thought playing basketball was fucking stupid? And now I just want Mark Cuban to distribute my property through one of his hundreds of companies, and I'll pay you $100K to do so. So thank you for your support, Peter. I'm glad I paid you $20 to help start your career with my dad helping make phone calls for you when you can't even give me a call back. Appreciate it, man. One day this shit will change, whether I'm alive or dead. And you guys are so fucked. So thank you for watching Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 172, Casual Conversations 89. Keep committing treason, and see you on the next one.